Texas Controlled Substances Act, What You Should Know, a beginner's guide to key drug-related laws in Texas. If you've heard the phrase Controlled Substances Act and felt overwhelmed by legal jargon, you are not alone. Texas drug laws are strict, complicated, and packed with penalties that can turn a very small mistake into a life-changing conviction. But understanding the Texas Controlled Substances Act doesn't have to be intimidating. Today, I'd like to go through some plain language as to what the act covers, how drugs are classified, and what happens when you're accused of violating it. Whether you're a concerned parent, a first-time offender, or just want to know your rights, this is your crash course. What is the Texas Controlled Substances Act? The Texas Controlled Substances Act is the state's main legal framework for regulating drug crimes. It's found in Chapter 481 of the Texas Health and Safety Code and governs everything from marijuana possession to fentanyl trafficking. The law outlines what substances are illegal and how they're classified, how much of a drug triggers certain charges and their punishments, the difference between personal use and drug dealing, the penalties for various offenses, enhanced punishments like drug-free zones or repeat offenses. This law is the backbone of nearly every drug-related charge in Texas, including possession, manufacturing, distribution, trafficking, prescription drug fraud, drug paraphernalia, and simple possession of marijuana. To see how these charges play out in real life, check out our breakdown of types of drug charges in Texas. Why is it called controlled substances? Controlled substances are drugs or chemicals that the state restricts due to their potential for abuse, addiction, or harm. Some drugs, like methamphetamine or heroin, are illegal under all circumstances. Others, like Adderall or Xanax, are legal if prescribed by a doctor, but illegal if possessed without one. Texas organizes these drugs into penalty groups, which determines how serious the charges are. The Texas Drug Penalty Groups simplified. Penalty Group 1 includes cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine. Why it matters. These are the most heavily penalized drugs due to high abuse potential. Penalties start as state jail felonies under 1 gram and go up to life in prison for large quantities. Penalty Group 1B includes fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. Why it matters. It's added to reflect fentanyl's deadly potency. Penalties escalate quickly. Even tiny amounts can trigger first-degree felony charges. Penalty Group 1A includes LSD and similar hallucinogens. It's measured by units, or dosing units, as it's sometimes called. Example, tabs, doses, not by weight. Penalties range from state jail felonies to enhanced first-degree felony, depending on quantity. Penalty Group 2, it includes ecstasy, MDMA, PCP, and some synthetic cannabinoids and mescaline. Penalties start at state jail felony for under 1 gram and escalate with weight. Penalty Group 3 includes Xanax, Valium, Ritalin, anabolic steroids. These are often involved in prescription drug fraud cases and are drugs that can be subject to abuse, but they are helpful to folks that have been properly prescribed these medications. Penalties can include misdemeanors for small amounts and felonies for larger quantities. Penalty Group 4 includes certain codeine-based syrups, narcotic mixtures, and penalties are similar to Penalty Group 3. Marijuana, although it's not in a penalty group, has its own classification. Despite national trends, recreational marijuana is still illegal in Texas. Less than 2 ounces is a Class B misdemeanor, 2 to 4 ounces is a Class A misdemeanor, 4 ounces to 5 pounds of marijuana is a state jail felony, over 5 pounds is a felony with prison time potentially. For a full walkthrough of drug weights and legal thresholds, see my post on drug possession charges. Key crimes under the Texas Controlled Substances Act. Here are the most common ways people run afoul of this law. Possession. It's simply having a controlled substance without a valid prescription. Common mistake, it's not mine. Doesn't work if it's in your car or bag, and you're considered to have constructive possession. Number 2, possession with intent to distribute. This can be charged when law enforcement believes you plan to sell, share, or trade the drugs. Number 3, manufacturing. This can include cooking, mixing, growing, or producing drugs, even with household materials. Number 4, trafficking. That's transporting, importing, or distributing large amounts, often filed with federal charges. Number 5, prescription drug fraud. Forging a prescription, stealing medication, or doctor shopping, getting the same prescription from multiple doctors, for example. Number 6, paraphernalia, owning items used to consume, prepare, or sell drugs, such as pipes or scales or rolling papers. Number 7, conspiracy. That's planning or assisting in a drug offense, even if you never touched the drugs themselves. Where you are matters. For example, in drug-free zones. If your drug offense occurs in a school zone, near a park, or within 1,000 feet of certain public places, your charges may be enhanced under drug-free zone laws. This means higher minimum sentences, longer probation periods, less eligibility for parole if you get a prison sentence. Even minor possession can become a serious felony just because of your location. How juveniles are treated under this law. If you're under 17 and are charged with a drug offense, your case will likely go through juvenile court, but that doesn't mean you're off the hook. Serious charges can lead to juvenile detention, and in some cases, the state may try to charge you as an adult. Juvenile drug records can impact school, college, and job opportunities. Drug charges from traffic stops. A huge number of drug arrests happen during routine traffic stops for speeding, expired tags, or minor violations. If officers then see, smell, or suspect drugs, they may potentially be legally authorized to search your vehicle. Important. You don't have to consent to a search. Ask if you're free to leave. Don't admit to anything. Call a lawyer if you can. And if you can't right then and there, call a lawyer as soon as you can do that. Penalties, what you're really facing. Here's a rough idea of how serious things can get under the Texas Controlled Substances Act. The offense type, classification, penalty range. For marijuana less than 2 ounces is a Class B misdemeanor punishable by up to 180 days in jail and or up to a $2,000 fine. Cocaine less than a gram is normally a state jail felony, which is 6 months to 2 years state jail and up to a $10,000 fine. Methamphetamine 4 to 200 grams is a first-degree felony that is punishable by 5 to 99 years of prison for life and up to a $10,000 fine. Prescription fraud, 3rd degree or higher, 2 to 10 years, $10,000 fine potentially. Delivery in a drug-free zone, enhanced felony, mandatory prison sentence. These penalties increase for repeat offenders when weapons, minors, or violence are involved. Texas doesn't play when it comes to drug crimes, and the Texas Controlled Substances Act gives prosecutors and police broad powers. But you have rights, and the best way to protect them is to work with a criminal defense attorney who is a criminal law expert.